Tom from VermiBag. I want to do a quick update today on the VermiBag Max that I've had running now for at least 4 months. I was actually at one point, doing a comparison between this particular Max and a Mini and the Urban Worm Bag, and things went this way and that way. I pulled the Urban Worm Bag out, and then between the two bags here, I just ran out of time and materials to keep them going completely. So I've only concentrated on the Max, and I've been feeding it pretty aggressively over the last 4 months now, and it's getting really full. So I'm probably ready for a harvest on it. Maybe next week. I'm going to be gone this next week, but the following week when I get back. Take a look inside and see what they look like, and you'll see how full it is. Okay, you can see on the interior of this, I probably have about 5 inches from the top, I suppose, of material. And you can see the top looks really well worked over. I mean, they've been doing a good job on this material. I'll dig down in a little bit and just see what the worms look like. You can see how rich the castings are on this. Oh, that's what happened. There's another orange that I forgot to bust open, and it's been in there for a long time. So unless you bust these things open, they can't get into them for a long time. But the castings look really nice. It's well worked over. The worms are just kind of dispersed everywhere in here because I haven't fed it for about a week and a half. I've been doing pretty aggressively, and then I stopped maybe even 2 weeks ago last time I fed it. You can tell last time I fed it, I threw whole oranges in here and forgot to bust them open. So I'll do that now. See if there's any other. Yeah, I mean, really nice looking material here. It's real dark. And it's real dark just underneath the surface. I mean, I've let these guys work over the material normally before I added too much more. So I'm going to add a bunch of food today. I want to bring them up to the top where I can hopefully do a harvest in a couple weeks. Right here I have, lift it up with one hand, a couple paper sacks. They're all-time favorite. I'm going to set that aside on the top, a pear. That's a guaranteed worm ball. Some tomatoes in here. These are frozen still. And a couple kiwis there. Then there's just a mixture of material in here. Asparagus, oranges, lettuce, tomatoes, cauliflower, you name it. I think it's just my opinion, but I really think that the worms do much better on a diversified diet of different types of vegetables, not concentrating on one particular type. I'm always giving them this huge mixture of stuff, and there's certain things they definitely attack faster, and other things that take a little bit longer before they attack them. So if you're putting something in there that they don't like and they want to let it sit a while before they eat it, then you're basically delaying your worms. Why, putting in this huge smorgasbord of materials, now this is 7 pounds, and again, this is straight out of our kitchen. I put it from the kitchen into a tub, and then the tub, I pull the sack out of the tub, I put it in the freezer, I freeze it for a couple days, and I dump it in the bin just like this. Only thing I did on this one is I busted up the cauliflower just a little bit. So that's really all I'm going to do. Big feeding, and I'm going to dump a bunch of bedding over the top of that, and that'll bring the worms up for sure, and I'll show you what it looks like before I do the harvest in a couple weeks. So let me throw the bedding on top, and I'll show you what the final thing looks like here. Okay, I got her topped off with bedding, and you can see now already that now I only have a couple, maybe 3 inches to the top, so there's a good 3 inches of bedding and food scraps in there. And I put about 15 pounds of bedding on top of the 7 pounds of scraps. So we'll take a look at this in a week after I get back and see what it looks like. And like I said, then we'll go ahead and plan on doing a harvest real soon. I also want to do a quick little update and just take a peek into the VermiBag Max trash bag. They've been doing pretty doggone well. I've peeked in on them a couple times, and I did throw a little bit of my Worm Chow that I make with the birdseed in there, and also some chunk of lettuce and stuff on top of it the other day. Let's take a peek and see how they're doing. Go ahead and pull back the bubble wrap. You see this lettuce I just threw in here. I didn't put it underneath the newspaper. Now this newspaper that's here, I put some of my worm chow that I make by grinding up birdseed underneath there. And then I put the newspaper over the top of it and wetted it down pretty good. So let's take a peek under there and see what it's doing underneath here. They absolutely love this worm chow. I mean, those are some happy, fat night crawlers. And it's deep with worms too. I mean, they go continuously down here. And look at the size of that sucker. Oh, they're pretty worms, but they're big. I mean, they're just loving this. Just about everywhere you go, there's tons of worms. So, this worm chow that I make is a big hit for the worms. I mean, they really like it. If you've seen, I have a video, I'll try and put a link in the description to how I made it. I just found some bird seed really dirt cheap, and I grind it up as I want it for treats and stuff. And especially if you're trying to fatten worms up for fishing, they love this stuff. What I normally do is just put a thin layer of it on, and then I wet it down pretty good. Then I put a thin sheet of newspaper, a single sheet of newspaper over the top of it and wet it down, and then put your normal cover over the top. It takes them a couple days to come into it, and they're normally underneath it initially, but eventually they're all over it. I mean, you'll have a guaranteed mass of worms anywhere you put this stuff. So that's it. I'm gonna probably add a little bedding on top of this just to top it off, and then everything's gonna sit for a week while I'm gone. And we'll check in on it next week. This is Tom from VermiBag. Until next time, ciao.